was the reason why Gen.G were losing, he also saved it.
He was also the reason why they won. You're exactly right. And the thing is, it's just so hard when you like get solo killed by like the oldest trick in the book. Remember, like Malphite is as old as League of Legends, basically. You know, he's actually a mountain. You know, like you know that if he hits level 6, he will press R and you probably will die. So a little bit of a silly mistake there, but he did pull it back very nicely, even after the very interesting Hullbreaker start. So T1 now on the blue side will ban Vi and Blitzcrank.
Nico banned by Gen.G. Will not be letting Faker play that one, so not happening today.
Double Faker bans, theoretically, as well, given the Cassante has been largely in his hands.
Yeah. See if it's going to be a Yuumi ban here for this final ban for Gen.G, as they look like to be fishing for Milio. And actually, it's going to be an Aphelios ban. This is quite interesting, as this means if you first pick Milio, you're kind of opting into a Milio Draven lane into potentially Zeri Yuumi. I still actually like that better for the Draven lane myself with how the meta has been looking here in the LCK in this first week. Of course, the final best of 3 of 13.10, a lot will change, and we'll talk about that later. Look for the Yuumi first pick here instead, but this allows Gen.G to now flip to the other side if they want to. And go for what I was talking about with the Draven and the Milio lock-ins.
And also gives Zeri an opportunity for Pays if he'd like to pick that one up. I believe Zeri was just completely, it just fell through. I think it was just through the whole draft, of course. We had T1 opting into the Draven, picking Zeri into Draven, doesn't feel great.
Get a jungle pick here too, you don't have to lock in the Draven right now, as Draven Yuumi's not really a thing, so Peanut gets his pick of the litter here if he'd like to, for example, grab a Wukong early on in this draft.
Milio Yuumi also isn't a thing, so...
Annie, also a strong pickup here. Look for the Gragas, actually. And this is where you have now a lot of engage options here as Gen.G if they're going to actually lock in the Zeri at long range. I mean, this is another thing you could do with Yuumi. Yuumi Draven, not a thing, but Yuumi Nila, something you could try to pull off. No, I'm glad that we're not.
Jiwoo isn't here. Jiwoo isn't here, so Nila isn't here either. That's how it goes. If you're a Challenger fan, you would understand. Nongshim games are very fun. As Ari going to be picked up there for Faker, and like you were saying, like,
I mean, the Draven angle, the Draven angle here for Gen.G though, very good. I think if Pays is confident that he can play it. I mean, this lane is bonkers strong, and now I think as T1, you probably have to take a look at that Scion, because at level 1, this becomes incredibly difficult to play out here for the Zeri Yuumi lane on red side, and I think that while T1 have Zeri Yuumi, which is incredibly strong, it's Keria piloting it, the early game, you can only do so much with these picks. You have to stave off that pressure, and when you have the Ahri here, you don't have guaranteed prio either, so a little bit tougher is we'll see a Nocturne ban, an Oner exclusive here in the LCK. This ban, very strong with the Ahri.
Crazy that the Maokai is just still all the way through. We see the Poppy being banned away, might be as a Jax insurance policy, which could be coming through here. See what Gen.G decide to ban away next. Because
I like that.
If you ban the Jax, it gives you the ability to just pick Maokai if you would like to, although that does give you a fair bit of magic damage, especially in the 2v2 top lane, if that's where the Gragas is going to go, which you'd expect given the fact that it is Doran.
If Jax is coming through too, it's definitely going to be the Gragas top, right? So
yeah,
we'll find out shortly here. Is Sejuani's bad now, and this is another long-range engage you can have for this Ahri pick, but if you let the Scion through here, I mean, I'm not saying that Gen.G have to commit to this, but you certainly could play the Gragas into the Ahri mid and then have that really strong level 1. So T1, see if they decide to allow it through. The Korean caster's talking about the Scion as well, I can hear, but it will actually be the Kha'Zix banned instead. And now Gen.G have to make a tough call. Gonna walk in the Wukong first. Great follow-up for the Gragas, great follow-up for the Draven.
Ooh, a lot of animals. I like this a lot. Get a bear in there, you got a cat, you got a fox. Oh, it's a blind dude. And
Ahri, Viego is a very strong mid-jungle duo, but tough to pull off in the early game, and you don't. And the Ahri is essentially blind right now. You don't really know what your opponent is going to be just yet if you're going to have that agency. And to pick the Scion away here, I think would be a bit of a questionable decision. I like the Ornn a lot more myself.
If it is going to be on, then they had so many animal opportunities. Never mind though, Scion going to be considered here, and of course has been a pretty consistent fallback for a lot of teams Gwen is up and available. Man, imagine if Doran played Gwen here.
I mean,
would you imagine it?
I can imagine it. In fact, I think there's a pretty good chance that it is in fact going to happen right before your eyes.
Surely not.
It is hard to pull it off, obviously, against Zeri Ahri to get the Gwen in there.
Oh, okay.
Kale is actually legit really good here because you have a free laning phase. You're going to be able to match a lot of that scaling later on in terms of what the Zeri's going to do. But Draven, low-range champion, right? Doesn't scale as well as Zeri because of Zeri's mobility, right? But if suddenly the Draven has Kale ult and actually doesn't care about his low range and he's running at people doing massive damage, if he can close that gap with the great engage to have a Wukong Gragas, then Paige is going to have great time in the late game. Kale's going to do a ton of damage. And I like both of these drafts, honestly, a lot for both of these teams. I think it is going to come down to execution of how well Doran plays this early game, because if he has a few mess-ups like he did in Game 1, it's not going to cut it with the Kale. You really need to have a stable laning phase. You've been given a free lane by your team here. Score said, all right, we're putting you up against this Scion. Don't mess it up. And I think that it's really just going to be about when does the Draven get a cash in and how well does Doran do on this Kale.
Yeah.
You imagine T1 going to look to try to punish a lot in this early mid.
You'd hope so. We saw this picked up by KT. It was the Melio Kale combination, right? You've got the invincibility to come through from the Kale. You've got the CC immunity. It all makes sense. It fell so flat on its face, Wolf. I felt silly for even talking about the fact that these two champions could be good.
It was not a great time. You and I were casting that one together. We were very sad.
I felt embarrassed afterwards. I had to call someone to help with my confidence, and I'm gonna do it again because it looks really fun. I love the gauntlet that's been thrown here. Pays and Delight playing exactly what they just beat in Game 1. Oh man, see what happens here as we hop into Game 2. Ooh, Gen G, they found their voices here as we move on to the Rift for game number 2. Zeus and Doran, will there be red cards doled out? We're not going to see just yet.
I don't think so.
I'm still reeling from Rascal auto-attacking then.
It would actually, I think, even be more BM for a Kale to walk into Scion melee range.
Yeah, true.
I'm like, well, that's actually just messed up. Like, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, nah.
No, not it.
He's like, I'm just going to stay away from the Scion because if the Scion gets to auto me here at level 1 before the minions go, it's like really good for him, and I don't want to actually stop him from doing that just because of chivalry in the LCK. So it's like weirdly more rude to like tempt fate in that way.
Oh, Chovy gonna find Faker, gives him a barrel, and then Faker gives him some Foxfire.
Yeah, barrel for Foxfire exchange.
I would say Foxfire 1 out on that one.
All 3 coming in. No charge on the Q from Chovy, so Faker definitely feeling pretty good about that one.
Yep, not too bad. As we adjudicate very early trades as Chovy takes 50% of his health bar. So
interesting.
Faker doing well.
Rune here from Faker, by the way, going fleet footwork. And look at the follow-up, obviously, with the additional mana he's going to get back when he pokes here and the coup de grace. Lots of damage, actually. Lots of burst here. So he really wants to put the pressure on early in this lane, have that additional movement speeds, and stay away from Chovy's body slam, stuff like that. But it's going to be a way to empower this Viego pick as well. We're on a 5-game winning streak here, Ari. And see if Faker can make it 6. He's one of the 5.
So far, laning phase looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And I do really like this auto-attack trading style that he's got going on here. He's been throwing a heck of a lot of autos into Chovy, making sure that he keeps up the lane pressure. Orbit Deception going slightly wide. As you can see, Peanut already dealt with his bottom side jungle. We'll move towards the top side. We'll see whether he avoids that ward or not. As Oner slinking on over, we'll pay a bit of a visit towards...
Look at this. I mean, Faker is absolutely running this lane. Oner now with that extra prio, as you say, going to come over here and push Peanut off of his red buff. And this is pretty disastrous. Oner, with already starting red here, going cross-map, has the ability to slow this Wukong, so it's not a fight that Peanut can take here. Not even going to get the chance to smite fight.
Yeah, almost gets in there. Tries to get in range to take that one away. The ward, of course, helping out there as Peanut now could help out Doran if he's in trouble. As you can see, 50% health bar for both of these top laners.
Yeah, you go red to red here as Oner, man. This is what I'm talking about. You punish the Kayle early. Oner is looking for it. Peanut wrapping around the long way.
Okay, let's see whether they can kill Doran before this one happens. Zeus already tanking up the turret. He's going to die first. As Doran, they do manage to take him down. Oner going to get on him. Oh man, the Zombie Scion a little bit scary there as Peanut wants to keep himself alive. As teleport to come forward. Doran immediately coming back to lane.
Yeah.
Peanut getting back into his jungle. So a 1-for-1 in the end. And I believe first blood went to Peanut?
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure you're right about that. With the turret shot coming through, just barely gets the extra gold there. But still, I mean, Zeus, yeah, he was further away from the minions when he teleported back, but he doesn't actually care because he has a massive lead. He's going to come over here and continue to put the pressure on Doran. So I love this red to red from Oner because you know you can win against the Wukong if he doesn't have red buff. You come over here, you steal the red buff away, you get both reds, then you make a play.
Chovy, if he gets charmed, he's dead, and so he's going to flash pretty early on.
So, I mean, now Flash is down here for Chovy. Faker playing this fleet footwork Ahri very well. Already teleported back, grabbed boots and the mana crystal, so he's just going to continue to put that pressure on here and have perma-prio so that Oner can do a lot, have a lot of agency here on the top side of the map. It's unusual to see teams play around topside, especially when there's a Draven involved in the game. But we haven't looked at the Draven at all here because it's been all about shutting this Kayle down here for T1.
Oh, Peanut waiting in the wings. He's only level 3.
Oner is also here.
Yeah. And there are wards everywhere, littering the map right now. As he will walk into one of them. There's the flash forward. Peanut is going to come out. Let's see whether they can keep Doran alive. He's sprinting away as fast as he can. Zeus might be the one to fall down, though, as Oner has to turn. Alcove Gaming to come through here as Oner taking so much damage. They're just trying to buy space to get him out, but Peanut's going to die, and Doran was baited. It's a T1 victory in the top lane.
I mean, this might just be game ending, to be totally frank. I mean, I'm not even going to sugarcoat this because Doran, he buys a Cull and a longsword here. He's like, well, that's it for me. I guess I'm just not going to exist. My turret's not going to exist. I'm never going to get minions. And this is the initial exchange where we will see confirm Peanut does, in fact, get the first blood here. But even though a lot of time is wasted and Zeus is killed here and summoners are expended, you still end up getting the better hand of this because now Doran doesn't have flash. Follow-up comes through here. And I think staying here as Peanut is actually incorrect because you're now just giving a further lead here. You're wasting more time. Oner's already ahead of you. In the bottom side of the map, by the way, as we do see this end up being additional kills going over, Doran also dies here. It's a whole disaster. Like, everything is wrong about this. On the bottom side of the map, Draven doesn't have prio. Paze is not actually controlling this lane. He's been given no resources. He's half a cull completed here, and he's sitting on a Dirk. So that aspect of your game and your early game power, where you're trying to create this dichotomy between weak top and strong bottom, because Peanut's trying to help Doran and failing. You didn't get anything out of your Draven. Your Kayle is 15 CS behind here, and Doran, yeah, he hits level 6, but it is going to be a long and hard road to come back in this one, and Viego could just keep camping.
We'll see whether he's going to do that. Has cleared out his bottom side yet again. The red buff going to be spawning pretty soon, but does have some puppies and a Krog to take down. Sorry, a Gromp. As Chovy has just been through his health bar as much as he possibly can. Faker ahead by just a little bit in that lane. We can see the Paze is ahead. There is at least that, but like you say, it's no notable lead. And if Zerayumi are just allowed to chill out, that is a loss.
Any campers on the top lane? Oner's got his tent. He's just got a brand new one.
He's going for a journey as well, as you can see.
He's backpacking. Then he's going to pitch the tent when he gets to the summit, which is Doran up here. He's climbing, keeping his footwork.
Well, Doran does have his ultimate. He's going to use it extraordinarily early, and I have a feeling, guys, that it's not going to be enough to keep him alive, as Oner misses the stun. And Doran is still super dead. There he goes. Viego gets himself another kill. Peanut not going to be there. Just pretty happy to have some time to get some camps, I'm pretty sure. As
I know Huni is molding right now over on the desk.
Oh, yeah. And Peanut might just be dead. As he, Warrior Trickster, but now that's on cooldown.
He's got 6, so maybe he lives this?
We'll see. There's the Cyclone. Zeus going to get knocked up. Another Cyclone is available. as Peanut is able to flash away. And so Zeus staying alive, very tanky. And this is just... Oh, what is it about today, Wolf? We've just had real wacky games.
Yeah, we really have, but especially in this series, okay? Like, you know, I was really excited for Gen G versus T1. I thought it was going to be some, you know, great gameplay, standardized. Like, we're going to learn from the best of the best today, like what their take on the meta is when they play against each other, right? But no, it's just going to be down and dirty.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, the 2,000 gold lead, I think, understates the current scenario, as 4 kills for Oner here. Rift Herald picked up. He is sitting on so much money right now, and just goes back and buys Sunder, and he's like, yep, well, I'm just going to keep staying topside. And Doran is a level down right now. That will continue to be a problem, and the lead will compound. Now, will he get punished?
Yeah, Peanut is here. Oner is just dead.
All right, caster curse.
Look at his flash.
You're welcome.
His flash is a couple of seconds. That is about as perfect timing as you can get. And it's Peanut that gets the kill. So a little bit of a shame there for the Kale, who probably wants as much money as she can get. But yeah, Doran now worth maybe a little bit more money given the extra assist that he gets there, so that could be good news for T1 fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, you know, I feel like better than if it went over to the Kale, but still a small victory here. As mentioned, the Sunder is still picked up for Viego.
Yeah.
And his magical footwear is online, has been early because of the amount of kills he's picked up super early in this game. And you're just looking at a situation where, like, that's a small consolation price, but it's not the experience that Doran needs, because he needs levels more than he needs gold. He needs gold too, don't get me wrong, but I mean, this is a great play from Peanut. They are able to capitalize, they're able to pick up some money, but he's just taken a little bit of money back here himself versus a Viego that will still continue to push him off of the map every time they encounter each other. And the real story, the hidden story here, the secret story that the observers aren't showing, is that this Draven lane just hasn't accomplished anything, even though it's got that extra Milio range. Guma and Keria are laning really well here. Keria must be blocking all the damage. No summoners expanded or anything like that. It's just a natural lane where they're doing well. Faker is also dominating this lane with the fleet footwork. And T1 are winning all across the map. And the top side is the place where you expected T1 to be winning the hardest, but they're also just winning everywhere else, even without Oner's help. He's just camping top side.
Yeah, what we have to wait for is to see whether Pays dies or gets a cash out, because that is still a story of this game. Great Charm is going to connect. There is Chovy in trouble. Spirit Rush going to be invested. The flash has to come through. And Chovy, can he stay alive? Faker is still, he's still going to die. And it's a 1-for-1 in the mid lane, but I think if you're Faker, you're the one typing worth.
Yeah, I think so. No flash expended here from Faker, and he's still able to secure the kill. A little bit of a miscalculation there from Faker, though. If he is able to get that without dying there, it feels amazing, but good reaction there from Chovy. Great flash. Of course, down his flash is going to hurt quite a bit. I mean, Chovy is just unfortunately not having a good time in this one. It's just straight up a charm. He connects here, and he barely lives. Cask also does not connect. Yeah. Flash buys him just enough time. Tries to get that extra durability with his W once again. Still dies. Faker will be taken down with him.
Yeah, so 1-for-1 there in the mid lane, but I think the message was certainly sent by Faker more than the other way around, as Pays running out of the brush here, and Zeus doing the classic Scion maneuver.
That's what I like to call a Draven Stacks robbing maneuver. He's going to attempt to steal those away.
Oh, there's the ulti from Gumayusi. Pays just trying to get himself out of here. He's going to be able to do so as the train
left the station. Here we go.
Around the corner. All right. Delight not going to go for any block or anything like that. It's Pays just barely.
He flashes forward.
He flashes forward, and that is going to be Zeus grabbing the kill. Peanut looking to try and get in here as Zeus with his pet cat are in position, and Peanut's just going to try and get out. Delight and Chovy might just be dead as well, as it's a great stun from Oner. Heartbreaker comes out. Chovy is going to find a decent barrel, survives for a long time, but Zeus is going to line it up yet again. The Milio gets a kill somewhere, somehow, and Peanut's flashing away. He will survive, but I don't know whether Delight is going to be so lucky. There are bad guys everywhere, and this Milio is not on an adventure that he really chose.
So sometimes the robbers rob the train, sometimes the train robs the robbers.
Yeah, okay, we're going to stop some backs there with the whirling death, but the death was actually Pays, and he lost so many stats.
He lost so much, and now you're Cashin, you were talking about, like, one of our big win conditions. Is it going to come through? Oh, no. Oh, no. He should be okay, right?
Well, I'm not sure.
He has flash.
let's see. Q is going to connect, doesn't get the knock-up. Speed up there, so Doran is going to be A-okay.
I mean, he survives and doesn't have to flash, but he's not going to be farming very much right now. He's going to be under the threat of death. As this is all a Sion pushing bottom lane, looking for a gank angle, right? And Guma is setting this up first initially here, using the Yuumi damage with his Qs coming through to make sure that when Sion arrives, they actually have enough damage. And the flash is used early, so he just has no way out. The flash is called, gets the slow here. He knows he has no flash, so he can flash forward to get the knock-up. Beautifully played, great communication there on the flash being used. And T1 take all those adoration stacks away. And then Rift Herald gets dropped. Lots of plate gold being picked up here for the Zeri. And Chovy, I mean, he's durable when he's got that W, but not that durable. Task here, unfortunately, for Oner is going to push him into the wall there. He will be taken out by the turret and Delight. But well worth it here for T1, who have control now of all aspects of this game.
Absolutely do. We're going to see a turret being taken at 14 minutes on the dot by a Zeri, who has Trinity Force done. Pays has a cool Essence Reaver. That is not a Trinity Force. And you can see Rico Foe now being picked up as well. We're moving towards that Hurricane pretty quickly. And yeah, this game is starting to really get into dire straits for Gen G. They do have, I mean, we can talk about scaling until the cows come home as Oner, not going to get body slammed, but there's the Everfrost. The cast comes down straight into the Cyclone as Whirling Death. Not going to find too much as Peanut looking to try and get the knockups onto Gumayusi, but the Whirling Death not going to come back in time. And now Faker, he turns up and Peanut is so dead. That's another kill to Gumayusi. 2-0 and 2 now for the Zeri. And it might just turn into another Zeri situation. We've seen a few of those.
A few of those. You know, last day at 13.10, and you just got to get the maximum Zeri, right? You just got to get as much out of it as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Or some big changes come through. We'll see some of those changes continue into the following patch as well. But, yeah, with some of the nerfs coming into Aphelios in the next patch, you know, who knows what will really happen when we go to 13.11, but I like that we have Zeri sending off 13.10. You know, she started off the patch permabanned. For some reason at the end she wasn't, and we reminded us of why. She was permabanned before in the early parts of the week and in Challengers. It's this game, you know, the Kayle scaling got level 11. Woo! Yeah! That's 2/3 of the way there, Atlas.
Yeah, so
we haven't watched Doran in a while.
Body slam, and Oner is dead. Okay, that's a decent start here for Gen G, and they'll move everyone over and grab a Drake. Doran's also top lane. He'll get a solo turret. And Faker's here. Gumayusi's in the mid lane. I'm just saying the things that I'm seeing on the screen. Not a lot of them are making sense.
Yeah, it looks like we're watching Overwatch right now with all this turret going everywhere. Like, where are they? Where's the kill feed?
And I'm understanding it about as well as when I casted that game, Wolf, 100%. It was some beautiful tracking.
It was beautiful tracking of every objective that was being taken on the map. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool kids will get the reference. Now, Oner, this is the first time where he was caught and he has Flash Heartbreaker gets away. The second time he's caught to start off the bit of a kerfuffle we're going to see next. He does not have those mobility options, so will not get away. But this ends up being a great capitalization from T1. This time he's coming over here just trying to suss out like where the Drake's health bar is at. They don't have any vision here. And then Chovy turns on him, has the Everfrost. He's cast away. And without those summoners and ultimate, he is going to die this time around. Gen G turned this into a win. Doran gets top turret.
나 등골 빼먹어서 잘 성장 중.
I didn't actually catch what he was saying because he was kind of mumbling, but my theory is that
I'm scaling, don't worry. That's what we were saying when Keen was playing it, and we felt silly at the end.
Yeah, he said, like, you know, I'm scaling. He's during this time, he's getting the turret topside, right? He's getting some money.
There we go.
He's got a leeching leer now.
Faker? Some rifts in the end as Charm is going to connect onto Chovy as there's the cast.
Oh, the ult!
Yeah, it's going to get him halfway through the Spirit Rush, which is why Chovy's ult looked a little bit silly, but ult for ult, you'll take that trade.
I thought Chovy was maybe going to try to force a flash trade to go for the body slam there. He was almost in range for it, but he goes for the ult first, and Faker ults just in time. That was a scary moment.
Nicely played, and like, Chovy has had some weird moments this game, right? Last game, the Nico was great, and he like pretended to be a minion, and that looked a little bit silly, but otherwise, he basically single-handedly won teamfights. This time, the laning phase, very, very rough. you know, had some big issues there. There's a 2,000 gold lead for Azeri. I'm going to try to ignore that just because it does feel like the game's over when that happens, and it probably is, guys. But
yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and take it out of my brain so that it doesn't infect it entirely. Right?
Alice is just telling himself that it's a close game still.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm telling myself that, and if you don't like it, then I apologize, and I'll try to be better in future. And I'll say that I'm going to try and be better in future.
Good. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, Chobi's looking for it this time.
There's that body slam we were talking about. Everfrost is going to connect another cast. Whirling Death, not going to land.
And Faker is just like, he's just slipping away, man. This time Chobi gets the body slam off, but he is able to flash the cask, and he's just handling it very well here. Down a flash. Unfortunate for Faker, but at the end of the day, I mean, the rest of the map is in shambles, you know? Small win for Chobi here in the top lane, but everything else is disaster, and there's not much Chobi can do to save it. You know, he's got an Everfrost here. Who's he picking? Who's he flanking? The Zeri is impossible to kill at this point. Runen is done.
Yeah, and I hope that we actually get to see some of this Melio Kale value that can happen. And then it's going to be put to the test, which is late game Zeri, piloted by Gumayusi, which is going to be nigh impossible to stop from just taking over. We saw in the series prior, there was a Zeri in that game as well, and she did a lot of things.
But, I mean, the lead that Deft had in that game wasn't like this, nor was it into a comp like this. So, you know, I think Guma's going to have a lot more agency. Now, will he get 15 kills? I don't know if the game goes that long.
Will he get 520 CS?
I don't think so.
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
But maybe. We just have to see. Oh, okay. In goes Chobi. He's going to get charmed in the end. I have a feeling he's going to go down. He's trying to get out of here for Gumayusi. He's getting another kill. Shirley going to be charging forward, as well as Doran just trying to get out as best he can. The turret would like to do the same thing, but doesn't have the same level of mobility as now Peanut. Caught in the wrong place. Okay, manages the cute little flash over the wall. That should save him, but it's not going to save the game as a whole, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, Faker just seems to have Chobi's number today with how quickly he's reacted to every single one of Chobi's attempts to assassinate him here. Once again, ult comes through to avoid. They get the kill, and he gets the Spirit Rush reset. He's chasing through. I mean, Faker's 1-1-4, and I think the story of the game is not really about him, although his perma-prio is quite significant. It's a huge part of the story of this game. But man, has he just made Chobi look like he's grasping at straws each and every time. And I mean, the Kale, Doran is actually, like, he lied. He's not scaling. Like, he's not actually going to be relevant in this game, unfortunately. And
he is. He's just not scaling enough.
Yeah,
we're all scaling, you know. I like to think that you and I are scaling, Wolf. We're scaling towards the end of the summer season.
I guess so. Yeah, sure. Maybe we're scaling towards the Renekton buffs that are going to be on the next patch. We'll see more scales in 13.11.
That's the real scaling.
Yeah, more scaling in my LCK. More scales, please. Okay, will Faker get out of this one? No flash. He has ult. Zeus is here. I don't think they're going to commit.
Will Faker get out of it, or will Chobi and Peanut just get out of here? Delight, is he going to get out of it? As the train is going to come through. Oner, he's interested in a red buff, and you can understand that.
Okay.
He's a jungler, they're all about that. Zeus, I have a feeling he can tank this for about as much time as he would like, but they just don't want to kill the Melio.
I was saying Doran wasn't scaling before because he was under threat of 3 people and wasn't able to even hit minions, but now he's left out here to get a few waves. Like, he got level 13.
He hit some minions.
Yeah. He's going back now. Maybe he's got enough. Yeah, he does for that. Oh, big item spike. 2 item Kale, 3 levels away from relevance.
He can make some rifts now. That is pretty cool. As Gumayusi coming in for a little... Oh, okay. Here's the long con. Bit of a flank angle.
Chobi's hanging out with Pull Bay over here.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a deep cut, but it is fair enough. For those who don't know, he was flanking and probably still is.
Yeah, Pull Bay is still flanking on the Akali right now. It's been a few months.
Oner is going to scout the flank. That's how good he is. He just knows how to guess these flanks. It's Chobi going to stun him up, and will be able to get himself back towards this mid lane and towards Pays.
It's just like the fun aspects of Genji's comp really died away with those first exchanges on the top side of the map, especially the 2 kills that went over to Oner where both Peanut and Doran died. Like, and I said back then, I think this game is probably over, I'll be honest with you guys, and has still held up to this moment in time. And it's sad that we don't get to talk about the cool things that this Draven can do to Kale and Emilio.
It's not over yet. All right, and you can talk about it.
I mean, I'm kind of leading into, like, we could talk about a parallel universe in which Genji does win this, which does exist, right, and could exist in our current reality. We're just not there yet. But Doran, you know, he's heading towards getting that Nashor's Tooth. Once he has 3 items at level 16, he will still struggle to do things in this game. But there's a lot of different threats, a lot of different picks, and everybody's really fed. And Zerius can zoom around and bot. Like, he will do the things he's supposed to do, right? And he can empower Pays as well in team fights. Pays being about half an item behind isn't doing him any favors in this game either, unfortunately. Hasn't had that cash in just yet, but maybe he picks one up in this later part of the mid-game. Maybe there's a world, right? Chovy's on 2 items finally. But otherwise, it's just kind of really sad to see Genji trying their best to kind of stave off the pressure, and I think they are, considering how doomed this game was. The recovery has been pretty nice, but we're still looking at a 5,000 gold lead here at 24 minutes. Maybe a trap sprung here onto Zeus, maybe some gold picked up.
All right, let's see whether this can be given to Pays. Zeus, all right, let's see what he can do here. Teleport to come forward. Whirling Death is going to go entirely wide. And now Genji's trap is going to get sprung. Pays in trouble. He gets the Divine Intervention, but it is not going to do anything at all. Ulti comes through from Delight, but now it's all of these cooldowns. Cyclone's going to come in. Gumayusi, he gets himself over the wall. Genji trying to get out of there. The stand aside is fantastic, but it's not fantastic enough to stop the onslaught of just how broken Zeri is.
You ain't going to kill that Zeri. Not a chance. Never. Never going to kill that Zeri. Ain't going to happen. The Whirling Death misses. There's no cash in here for Pays. And I think that is really probably the final nail in the coffin. I think we could actually finally say it is. This one is well and truly over. Pays no legs to stand on in this game. Gale Force on the Draven. That's where we're at right now. Finish the Gale Force here, and we're just having a sad time. But, yeah, I mean, I wanted this to be a 3 games that went back and forth, you know, very clean.
But it is.
I mean, it's going to 3 games.
Yeah.
But it didn't go there the way I wanted. This is not the roadmap I laid out, Atlas. I'm not the script writer here at the LCK. This Whirling Death missing as Zeus just ults away casually is just the saddest thing. The cask here,
it was pretty cute, but the fact that they had to reactively use the Divine Intervention
and then
Pays,
Peanut, watch Peanut go, hold on, can I kill this champion? Hold on, like, I'm Oner? Aw. And it wasn't even a Zeri thing, he just slashed the wall. Yeah. Very slippery, just got a Yuumi on her back. This wasn't even really that Zeri, it was just a flash. They used everything but the Cyclone. Imagine if they had everything together. They didn't.
No, didn't quite work out. And yeah, a bit facetious on the Zeri call there. But if she is just left and there aren't the cooldowns to use, you count a few of them and then Gumayusi takes over, and he absolutely did that. Fantastic to see here for T1 as they now push towards some of these inhibitors.
I think Flash is too strong in this game.
We've nerfed that one before, as Charm is going to connect onto Chovy. It is just magnetized to this man. As Peanut is in trouble, he has to break his stopwatch. Doran trying to get set up there. Zeus just barely misses out on the Q. But T1 still will break through that inhibitor turret. They'll take down the inhib as well. And now Oner getting to work on this mid lane that he'd already set up for them. So 2 inhibitors on this Baron push. And they've still got a minute and a half remaining.
Yeah. It has been Genji trying their best to stem the bleeding here so that Doran can hit that 16. It's just still not here, right? And by the time it is, you have no legs to stand on, you have no inhibitors to stand on. And I mean, right now I'm kind of struggling with the POG because Oner absolutely crushed the early game and eliminated Doran from the Rift. He just disappeared after that. But Faker has had an amazing game. His laning has been fantastic. His charms have been good. I don't know if the game is defined by him, though, and Zeri, you know, she's looking pretty big, you know, casual 3,000 gold lead, but we've been Zeri voters already today.
Yeah.
I'm kind kind of feel like the game was more about the top side of the map for a lot of it, then it became a little bit more about Gumi. It's a little bit of a split vote scenario, I think.
No, it's really interesting, right? Because you want to give it to Oner, but then he had like the
he kind of messed up.
The casual ints in the mid game that really do take away from some of the validity of those votes. So
he was trying to make it close, you know?
Yeah, and it's still up in the air in my mind. I think Faker's charms have certainly helped me out as far as Faker voting, but I don't do that anymore. Voting, that is.
No. 4 items, Zeri. Sitting on 4. Titanic Hydra is pretty big. Faker on the flank.
I really want to see.
Level 16.
Okay, yeah, he is just going to fly forward. Pays, going to avoid the charm.
Maybe it is the Oner angle.
It could be.
Nah, I'm teasing.
Well, we'll just have to see. As Faker diving on in once again.
Doran is scaling in the mid lane, by the way, trying to make sure the Nexus doesn't die to Super Minions. Level 16!
Oh,
there he is!
He loves that. That's what we want to see. If you're a Gen G fan, this is the dream. The minions, you never need to go that far, and you can farm 2 lanes at once. I think this was all part of the game plan from the beginning.
And he clocks in the chat.
Oh yeah, well, Jovi's going to go for an engagement. He immediately gets charmed, and that is going to be that. The turret falls down as well. And without any sort of front line to speak of, there is nothing Gen G can do about this. Doran trying to get some autos in, and you mentioned the level 16. Well, the relevance just does not really exist. The last inhibitor will go down.
He's scaling! He got his 3rd item!
Oh no. Well, Gen G just going to try and defend these Nexus turrets, but otherwise I think they're going to think about what they're going to do with the blue side in game number 3. Because I have a feeling this is all just a matter of T1 moving towards these Nexus turrets and finding their opportunity. The charm is just gorgeous! Delight going to be able to flash away as Doran going to press his R button trying to stay alive, but Zeus just ignores the Kale entirely. Peanut will turn up again, and there is a Nexus here to defend at least. Chovy, he'll turn up as well. And will they be able to actually stave them off? There is going to be Zeus falling down. It's a kill for Doran, his 2nd of the game somehow, as the Zombie Scion's going to buy some space. And I have a feeling that is going to be the end of the Nexus as they're trying to get these autos in there, and there it is. That will take it down. Couple of